Soviets and Soviets of the Red Army, how y'all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, bringing you an SD League Division 2 game. Today on Sianno. Rang, who is here duking it out, and what do they bring to the table?
On left-hand side in blue, we have Gearhead117 playing the 5th SS Viking Division with a Vanguard income. And on the right-hand side in the red, we have a Metalphase playing the 1st Polish Armor Division, also with a Vanguard income.
So, I mean, looking over here at both decks, as you guys have seen on the screen, nothing too surprising, very standard decks, but going both directions. Now, I guess the question is, who's going to get more mileage as we kind of go later into the actual game? And I told you I was going to let us drop with the last cast, but you know what? I couldn't do it one more time. An early Lorry goes down over here. The Morris kind of goes down. And there's a Pack 38 that's just devastating this initial kind of central position from Metalphase moving in with those poles.
Yeah. Always doing that, like, town rush along the south side. Can always be brutal if you get caught out in the open, which has happened for both sides, really.
Pack 38, doing really good job. Unfortunately, he's going to die pretty quickly as this hurricane comes on in.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
up
he's
north
going to
we're
get...
seeing...
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's the hurricane, but up north, we're seeing a pretty aggressive Metalphase going full-on cavalry with the Morris LRCs and Cromwell tanks galore.
Well, and losing a couple of them already, but the Pack 38 goes down as well, and that is a hefty investment. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And then we just have the 1 kill.
Yeah, that's a lot of points early on, but it's working pretty well as he is managing to get to the other side of that crossroad area, which is a pretty important area to secure. The Pioneers and Panda Grenadiers are slowing him down for now. I just think he needs to get his half-tracks into position to, you know, do the Daka.
But he's got to watch out for the P3. I know the P3 only has a very, very limited kind of view right about now, but that guy is super upgunned. You got to be careful.
Yeah, you gotta... Yeah, he can prove to... I think he's on knockout 1, maybe 2 tanks, and then you have a tank short avenge a comrade.
True. And as you might expect, yep, P4 moving on in as a loose support. And here's the first kill. Could be the Lorry. Nope.
But yeah, this is a really effective push here so far for Metalphase. I think he needs a bit more infantry to, you know, back up his initial push and try to get more of the frontline areas. He's bringing in off-map artillery, I believe, to try and off-map artillery at like northern town area. That T-3045 is in a pretty good spot to knock out any reinforcements or, you know, crew killed tanks.
True. Now, P3, that's still hanging on back here, he's trying to get lines on pretty much anything else, and this is where the rubber meets the road. First kill, no kills whatsoever. That was unfortunate.
Yeah, the veterancy in those Cromwell was just helping out a lot. Bringing in that commander one, or leader one, was definitely a smart move. Is just doing any sort of rush with like 3-star vetted tanks, so just deadly. Absolutely deadly. I mean, you see a lot with Shermans and Russian divisions.
Well, between the P4 and the T-3045, not for nothing, I get the feeling that this rush is going to get bogged down a little bit. Oh no, unless they get out of vision, that's going to cause a hassle.
Yeah.
And aiming uphill, too. Who would have thought that'd be such a problem?
The Panzer IV is actually holding his own really well. Man's knocked out 2 Cromwells already. Now, in a long-range head-on fight, the P4 and T-3045 just have the advantage.
Yes. And the backstopping here is pretty much done. Now, so we have the Morris, and the Morris is going to go down. Yeah.
A bit off a bit more Nikachu, I think, in that push.
140 mil barrage starts to drop on that northern town. Really well done there. Down to the south, I'm kind of interested because we have P-Grunt and a mortar half-track coming on in to support the German push going the eastern perspective. And there's not a whole lot to really kind of keep them at bay. Yes, there's 6-pounders on the hillside and the Cromwell in the trees, but ain't gonna do a whole lot against a half stovepipe, my man.
Yeah, and the Strokies are a little bit depleted and are not all that powerful, all things considered. So it's a pretty good time for Gearhead to try and make some counter push happen down south. Or heck, even up north, he does have the Su-76 tank destroyers, which are actually pretty good tank destroyers, especially against these rather lightly armed Cromwells, or lightly armored Cromwells.
Oh yeah. And not for nothing, but let's see, 1, 2. That's not the bulk of the Cromwells being knocked out, but it's pretty darn close. That was a lot of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Got a couple Shermans and Fireflies yet, but I don't see them to the north. I see them a couple coming in now, but
yeah, we got one Sherman and also a bunch of like Strokey in the northeastern corner, which are just hanging out in their trucks. Maybe they're just having a little bit of a car party.
Taking a smoke break.
Oh, parking lot party. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, you're tailgating. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
The thing with I always forget. No, yeah, the Su-76s don't have that same kind of standoff fire opportunity that you would see usually from the Su-76. But more than enough to take care of really anything that's going to kind of hold them back here. The question is whether or not these 6-pounders can get into a good enough position to really keep the P4 and Su-76s at bay.
Yeah, he's keeping it pretty defensive up north. Just it's not a good spot. I wouldn't move it up any closer, frankly. Yeah, the far northern run could actually get in a pretty good spot as well to maybe get an ambush or two. I think it's really going to come down to your 6-pounders if he wants to try and get momentum back up north. And we are seeing that last off-map artillery barrage being called in on the town.
Well, and the observer over here is just shielding for that Sherman in the back to start pounding on the T-34-85. So this is a big thing. T-34-85 goes down. That's a big kill in that area.
You know, if you can just get the Shermans up and 6-pounders in a good position to actually shoot the reinforcements being brought in, actually gonna force them to disembark early. This might give Metalphase enough time to clear out the rest of the town. He does have some superiors coming in, which I think will be pretty key in finishing off the Panzer Grenadier and Flammenwerfer, who are left in what remains.
Well, if not that, then the Hurricane's going to come in, pound that P4 flat. Now, here's the Armada to the north. We have the Jagdpanzers. One shell's going to come in. Okay, there we go. So, if they can stun up that 6-pounder, well, never mind. Nope. The Jagdpanzers are going to go down first. Almost guaranteed.
Yeah, that 6-pounder's in a lovely spot.
Hero of the North. I'm not saying he's gonna hero the Soviet Union ribbon for that, but he completely retarded that entire push. Other 2 Phase A Shermans being brought to the north, and that is going to be the bulk, really, of Metalphase's tanks overall.
Yeah. I wonder if he's gonna try and do another ballsy tank push with these armor coming in, because the Firefly does give him better standoff firepower against those Panzer IVs and T-34s at long range if he does manage to break through the forest. But he is bringing in infantry too. But I'm actually just looking at the points. Metalphase is actually 15-9, and that's actually just due to the center push here.
Yeah.
As he Sapichi says, capture a flag because nobody's here.
I do like we have Gephards coming on in to maybe kind of redress that particular oversight. But the 5th Panzer, I feel like it's just been rocked on the heels from not unluckiness. I kind of feel that kind of really makes light of the kind of very, very good aggressive play we've been seeing from Metalphase. But, Hurricane's going down as well. Not an ideal position.
I feel like for Gearhead, he's on to put a bit more pressure and more points down south, which was his best bet. I do like the Panther, because it's in a very good position to give long-range firepower. And I think just trying to capture southern town, he can get a lot of easy flags back. And he needs to, because he's not doing too great in the points lead.
Panther goes down. Thank you, 6-pounder.
Oh. Such is the tale of the Panthers in these games. Was it side shotted or frontal?
It was like a 45. So it wasn't exactly some sort of like perfect side shot, but it was probably pretty darn close to that side angle. So
yeah, that's like the problem with the Panthers in this game is that yes, it's really good front armor, But there's always instances where the cruisers, like, punch on head stupid, and expose their side armor for some reason, and then you lose your very expensive medium tank due just to a 6-pounder. Yeah.
It's funny that's a medium tank.
I using the Tiger. Yeah, the Germans were very funny with their designations of tanks. I think they really went a little bit overboard with some of the heavier designs. I'd call like the Jagd, like what's it called? The Jagd Tiger more of a fortress rather than a tank destroyer, really.
Was having a 40k moment right now where it's like, oh, okay, Baneblade, medium tank, cool, cool. Land Raider, definitely. Side note, just a brief, this has always bothered me. Land Raider, I was always really ticked off that it was named after a guy named Land, as opposed to being like, aha, no, we're taking your territory and raiding it. That always bothered me. Sorry.
Wait, really?
Yes, it's named after a guy named Arkan Land. It is not the fact that it's a Land Raider. And finding that out just, like, kills me. It kills me like the Knights of Ren doing nothing kills me, okay?
Imagine naming your kid Land. I think the only reason you'd name your kid Land if you're really into Magic the Gathering.
True. So it's like a Day 9 thing. So like Day 9's like, oh yeah, dude, meet my kid Land. His brother is Swamp, and his sister Burn. Like, yeah, I get it. You know, it's a mill deck. Cool. But yeah, so the guy's name is Arkan Land, and that's why it's the Land Raider. I'm sorry, I have just shattered something, I'm sure, for somebody out there, but I have to share my misery.
Yeah, thanks for sharing it with me. That's really silly.
Yeah. Thank you, GW.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. But in the meantime, as we try to focus on the fact that people like Matt Mercer make me really upset, to the north we are seeing a resurgent kind of potential push. No, I was hoping to see the Strokeys and the Piat troops in the back being brought on forward, but why bother? You know, you don't need them. You want to make it more even. There's a couple of Jagdpanzers still there, but boys and materials enough. What's that?
I mean, what is he doing with him? Like, that's free infantry, which could be shooting things, but I think he's just completely forgotten about him. I could kind of see Rai from his point of view, kind of in the corner of the map. He'll kind of focus on the front lines.
Well, there's a piece of me that wonders if that's like a graphical bug that's just never been fixed. Because I don't see players doing that. Like Metalphase, Gearhead, we've seen these guys before. They're pretty aware individuals. So I'm wondering if it's some sort of just graphical issue that we have. So
yeah,
might be a replay thing. In the meantime, though, we're seeing aggressive machine gun play as these guys are running across open fields to take cover in this town. They won't last long as the Cromwells take notice of them.
Yeah, I really like this like northern central push. I'm trying to think of a cardinal direction to call it, because we never see people push this axis at all. It's always completely untapped potential, and we're seeing the potential play out pretty well with these Cromwells. Usually, this area of the map is, you know, it's always a soft underbelly which you can exploit.
Absolutely, and you can see it right now. The Gepard's getting taken on out of one of them at least already. It's a great play, and honestly, it's a vastly overlooked position. These forests on either side of where the Cromwells are. Throw a squad of 2 infantry like you have, Superior C, Stroke Key, doesn't really matter. Those guys will keep your flank safe, and at this point you can just pound town, like the entire town. Look at this. They're engaged in the southern town with impunity. The T-34 has to rotate up to them, and really the Superior C could kind of rotate around and hit it with a Piat. It ain't gonna be pretty, but it's possible.
That would be ideal. But yeah, I understand why people don't do it all too often, is that the playline situation is kind of rubbish, so there's no direct roads that really connect. But if you can make it work, like with these Cromwells, you can make it work until it doesn't work.
I say, I believe you mean Cromwell.
Panzers and Panthers and Panzer T-34s coming in. Yep.
But it was cute while it lasted.
It was a good try. Yeah, I respect the play. I respect the play.
6-pounders being brought down to the south. Kind of interesting. Trying desperately to keep the Panthers at arm's length. I think he still has plenty of Shermans. I'm surprised he's going with a very kind of, you know, I'm nailing my foot to the ground here. I feel like 6-pounders, they're a defensive weapon. These are things you run other tanks into. Surprised he's not being more aggressive by bringing the Firefly to kind of keep things at bay.
Yeah. But I think it's mainly focused with his armored forces up north because he's starting to do another armored thrust here. And it's working pretty well, but Gearhead is bringing in the defensive reinforcements. He's got the Stug 4, he's got the Pack 40, the T-30-45, the Panthers on the southern flank, so I feel like Metalphase is going to try to push out of here, then just get completely shreked. His best bet is to really just, stay on the other side of the forest, hold that flag by a little farmstead, and just, hedge your bets, yeah.
Absolutely. But he will not be denied. The Panther's rotating up, and I think he's trying super hard to get a nice little defilade position. Unfortunately, he's just out of range. If he went up at another 75 meters to the south, he would probably catch this Panther in the flank.
Mm-hmm.
A very, very meager push being utilized here. Firefly, was he trying to engage? Oh, he's going after the P4, P-Grunts rather. The P-Grunts make it through the deadly potential ambush there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ambush spot. I think it's trying to shoot anything that comes in to supply the road, but Metalphase is still doing pretty good. 13-11 now, as the central position has got recaptured. So, yeah, I think it's going to come down to Rebel Metalphase and just hold his positions. I don't feel like he's going to be in a good spot to really make anything happen. Maybe in the town. He's actually making a push here, the Strokies. That would be his best bet.
Sorry, I'm just watching the brace of 6-pounders just pound at this Panther down to the south. The Panther is taking it. He's tanking it. That's his job. But this is really unnecessary, HP damage. This is really unnecessary morale damage too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, the Panther's gonna back off, but he's gonna show his side armor and get killed. Or not. So see, using his front armor effectively.
In the meantime, actually, we're seeing the P-Grunts, the MG-34s. Although we've got some good leadership here, actually, should be able to hold the southern town, at least for the time being, until we have, these Mozzies coming in with the Hurricanes. Yeah. This is when the town fight goes very much in the favor of the Poles.
Yeah, you don't really have to fight over a town if you just blow it up to a bitch.
Well, most of the Poles. I should be more precise there, considering the fact that some of the Poles just got themselves a bit of a flash tan from the explosions in their face.
Yeah, but it's a good push here from Metalphase. He just needs to keep up, a little bit of momentum here and there. I don't feel like he's going to be secure in his town anytime soon. The more the hard track, he really needs to start firing a bit because he's so lovely blob of Strokies, which could get suppressed pretty easily with some artillery.
Well, I'm just watching this infantry fight overall. I know we talk about the inherent kind of like one-on-one capability of a lot of P-Grunts, but Strokies, while they are not quite up to the same snuff as their Soviet brethren, nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, you get a decent amount of them for being, an A-phase kind of Rastek in a sense, and both sides, I do want to point out, are pretty heavy in a Vanguard mentality, because they really don't have any C-phase cards. Gearhead's, the only C-phase card in this entire match is, one Jagdpanzer from Gearhead, so, we're all going to be hitting into C-phase shortly, and if this match goes on longer, I think there's definitely going to be some attritional problems from both sides.
Oh, absolutely. To the north, by the way, you're absolutely right to also note that second armored breakout ended in almost dismal failure.
Yeah.
Pack 40, man, I think is so strong.
Mm-hmm. He's got high ground.
Yes, and now we have a crew killed and a bailout, so the banks are controlling everything, and what the banks don't control, they kill. So that's an absolutely brutal thing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know the banks were armed with Pack 40s either. I really need to reevaluate my investing options.
Swiss banks.
Okay.
You don't pay them back, they blow you whole of Swiss cheese. So it's a whole thing, man. They get you coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually kind of fascinated because there's this huge concentration of P-Grunts, and there's another 5 of them being brought in. So Gearhead has some really potentially incredible stuff happening.
Yeah, yeah. This is like a lot of infantry coming in. I wonder what he's gonna do if he's deploying the second group of Panzer Grenadiers in a pretty defensive position, all things considering. And I think he needs to be a bit more aggressive in trying to retake that town, just rush into it, and hopefully not everybody gets disembarked before you get in, because there's not a whole lot of struggle in yet. And he does have the fire support with the Panthers and mortar half-tracks to help out.
I don't know. I kind of like dropping them here, or at least keeping these guys in some sort of like operational maneuver group.
Mm-hmm.
You have the initial kind of group of P-Grens, and I think to a certain extent, if it were me playing against it, my first thought is, okay, he's just invested a lot of infantry here, drop some RD, something like that. So he still has this kind of second punch. If he gets a gap, he can exploit it. And yeah, look right here. He's just going to run down to the southern part of the slope. Yes, he's going to take some fire from the 6-pounders. Yes, it's going to be a pain in the backside as he gets hit by the Superiority. But he's got 5 more squads. He's going to take that southern forest. Maybe potentially move across the road. Maybe put some fire over here on the 6-pounders. So he's done massive 6-pounders. He knows where those are. Then from there, he can kind of really make himself a pain in the southern kind of side of the poles.
Yeah,
so.
He really needs to deal with those 6-pounders. That Panther's taking, he's tanking it like a champ. But for how long?
And luckily for him, the Hurricane, one Hurricane getting forced away. Ooh.
Second one. Oh, there we go. I think that's just enough. I think that Panther had enough tension it, and one of the AP cells finally got through.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Just chipping away at the armor.
It really is both impressive and at the same time kind of scary how massed a lot of this infantry has been.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's just...
There's something glorious about watching 5 or 6 squads all unleashing tracers into another squad. It's like Stuart levels are just... Yeah.
Yeah, have like MG42s. That's like 10 MG42s, right? Yeah, so... Yeah, definitely gonna keep anyone's head down.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's also moderately funny, too, to watch things like the Shermans coming around just popping the anti-air. So, I mean, the Gepards... Again, I love Gepards. I think I've used more my anti-air vehicles just as anti-infantry more than anything else.
Same here.
Like, flesh is so much easier to blow holes in than armor. Like, why would I bother doing it against the armor?
Yeah, I know, right? And, you can still have a lot of problems with a 20mm cannon. Airplane problems, infantry problems. If it's recon or proper tank, you have AP shells, so armored problems as well.
Exactly. But shells cost money. The dead don't cost anything, so throw them against the infantry, and it'll just, works for me.
Yeah. Metals just keeping up the pressure.
The question is, who runs out of that material first? Looking down to the south, more Morris trucks being brought on in. I think this reflects the absolute end of the recon. And I think this is a loose indication that infantry is starting to get a little bit scantier as he's trying to depend, I think, on recon vehicles instead.
Mm-hmm. Compared to both divisions, 5th SS definitely has more infantry available to them. They're almost an infantry division, you could argue, just the amount of infantry they get for being a Panzer division. It's not entirely accurate, that statement, but they're pretty damn good for Panzer division in terms of infantry loadout.
True. One thing that the Germans have been very lucky upon is that things like these Fireflies are not able to effectively put fire onto things like the Panther down to the south. That happens, the Panther's dead.
Yeah.
The game set match.
I do like the Pak 38's in a pretty good spot, but doesn't have enough armor penetration to really do much damage against the Sherman. And the Morris LSC's coming in pretty clutch. He's rinky-tink little recon vehicles. Putting a big dent in that, in that push, and I was hoping to maybe rush and get a surrender or two, but doesn't seem to be the case.
Well, I mean, they're going to die pretty quickly, but they're going to do exactly what they need to do, which is put pressure on the infantry to the south.
such a goofy vehicle, man. I don't
Yeah.
know what it was with the British, just making really odd-looking, like armored recon cars. Because they had a lot of really weird armored recon-looking cars.
AEC, man. That's the one. That's the one. That's all I need.
Yeah, yeah. We want a tank, but it has to be on wheels.
You know, and it was a perfectly respectable kind of weapons platform.
Mm-hmm.
This down here, the Morse LRC, I look at that and I see the Panhard. I'm sorry. That's all I see.
Yeah, it's just... It's like the bare minimum. So we've got a Bren gun and an anti-tank rifle. Have fun.
Exactly.
It's like someone got a regular car and just put, like, you know, armor plating around it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I'm watching as the two Shermans to the north get engaged by the Stroke 4, and apparently, despite the fact that Stroke 4 is just firing upon them, almost completely without any kind of consequence, the Shermans decide that, it's not important for me to fire back. It's not sporting. Shooter's been killed for 30 seconds. Can you please move your tank a little bit, boys?
Yeah, I think both sides is very engaged down south here. This is really where it's coming down to who can control the main town, and it's getting pretty dicey. I mean, Gearhead owns the southern side, Metalphase owns the north, and it's actually getting pretty close to 13-11 in terms of flags here. So Gearhead is, you know, he does have the potential to flip this into his favor.
Potential, yes, but you know what's over here on the right-hand side now is two Sextons.
Oh, kind
And that's kind of sexting you never really want to get, so.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. I'm sure they'll get a barrage pretty soon here. And Sherman and Firefly behind the lines too. So yeah, these Strokies are probably going to buy it. They're going to go down hard, but they're probably going to buy it here. But that's still going to give them more than enough time to bring in some extra support.
Yeah. I'm wondering how much infantry Metalphase has left. Because he must be starting to run out by now. Another Panther goes down, goddamn. It's not a good day to be a Panther, Khan.
I hate to say it, but there are very few days where it's good to be a Panther.
That's also very true. Especially at the start of Kursk.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I can't wait to join this battle. Let me just drive off this train. Armor on fire.
Machine guns? Nah, you don't need those.
No.
Now, if you want to be a gangster, I mean, damn, it feels good to be a gangster. So, not for nothing. Yeah, P-Grand's going to go down. This entire push is gone. And the Sextons, I imagine, are going to change their barrages over here towards the town? No. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, these sections should come in pretty clutch as... No. One little town position that Gearhead is in control is pretty clustered. You know, just a few artillery strikes here can blow up a lot of P-Grunts very quickly.
Or kill half the forest.
Yeah. Mosquitoes are also pretty good.
But the mosquito gets swatted.
Yeah.
So.
And here comes a run. And here comes a Spitfire too, so just lots of air power being brought in a short span of time.
Yeah, but the quad flak is not a big deal. Not gonna happen.
Did run? It didn't even drop its bomb.
Nope. And it never will now.
Yeah, that's...
What?
What? That was the rear machine gun car that killed it.
Yes,
what the
bloody
That's
heck,
not supposed to happen. The rear machine gun is just here to shoot, like, confetti and Roman candles, not actually be an effective fighting weapon. Like...
Well, and that's why you see him running away, because I think what they're trying to do right now is they're going to go and bring in that guy and be like, oh my gosh, okay, you are been promoted 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Now the rank of Luftwaffe General. Oh great, I can't wait to use that. I get to expand an air force. We got 5 planes.
You must be new here.
Yeah. 3 of them are training aircraft.
And this is a Cessna.
109 with half an engine mission.
Yes.
We got a Messerschmitt 262, but we've been waiting 2 weeks to get new engines for it.
Something about ball bearings and the, whatever, the Allies, whatever.
Something of Switzerland, I don't know.
But Mozzies are still... these Mozzies have been surprisingly effective.
They have been.
I honestly, to a certain extent, I feel like they've killed more vehicles than the AT vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, up north we're seeing another one kind of blew them mark a bit, but they've been, anytime there's a big blob of Panzer Grenadiers or, any real push from Gearhead, the Mosquitoes just come in and say, yeah, I don't think so.
Now, unfortunately, the SDKFZ and the Gepard over here to the south doing pretty well to keep things at arm's length, but they've been just a little bit late to the party. And I think right now, where the deuce are they firing? They're looking way up there. Okay, I thought the Sextons were going to go for the anti-air platforms, but they are desperate to keep the northern town under control, which I get, but even if he drops that, it's still another, 3.5 minutes until there's a success. So...
Oh no, it's actually I think it's actually a pretty good, push here from Gearhead. Because that's gonna be 2 flags under his control. And I'm thinking at this point Metalphase is very out of Strochki. I mean, he does have some in his northeastern spawn, but we don't know if it's that must be
bugged or something. Yeah.
I think I would have to be. I think you're right in that regard, because, yeah, no one would miss it. No one would miss yet.
Not for this long.
No. Yeah, right, you would notice at this point. Bloody replays.
It's the worst kind of plays, except for all the rest.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it could be, I mean, if Gearhead can get both these flags in his northern town, that will, even things out. And then he could use that town to try and flank up north and, entrap that smaller force that Metalphase has in that forest. And he does have the infantry to do so, and it's just C2 infantry is the most important thing in this game.
It certainly is, but we still think of this Firefly, who are just going to engage the Stug, and the Stug goes down immediately.
What's that Panther doing? It's down south. He's behind enemy lines. This is not ideal Panther territory.
And as you might expect, he goes down in fairly short order, as he does not know where his friends are, where his enemies are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something you want to, have 2 kilometers back of, little chance of being flanked.
Indeed. P-Gun MG-34s over here kind of trying to aggress in this town, but now completely unsupported. All their vehicles are dead. They have mortars, but this is when you drop smoke along their approach, and then you push.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I think it's just a little bit too many Shrubsky in the southern town to really hold it. And up north, we are seeing some Shrubsky reinforcements, so I don't think it's going to be enough to, completely halt this northern push, but it might just be enough to buy Metalphase time to try and get a flag somewhere else, because it is at a trove.
Yeah, that flag is, about 200 meters? 250 meters behind the front lines. Down to the south, though, too. Take out the MG-34 just to the south of this push town, and that would be enough to take the frontline territory and hold that for 2 minutes, and you're set to go.
Yeah, and that's going to be the case. Oh, it's such a cock tease. It's right on the border of flag. Oh, yeah.
Now, there's still a Crusader tank moving into the area, too, and again, you're going to see the Crusader tank is being brought in for its primary role, which is to shoot people. Of
course. It's on the crusade of blowing up Panzer Grenadiers. The airplanes is kind of like a tertiary effect.
Crusaders killing unarmed people since 1195. So, not talking too much anymore about the fact that war crimes have been abound since since people could shake a stick at each other. 1410 has happened here, and Pioneer's dead, and now we have one MG-34 who's just freaking out, dude. He's tweaking. And then we have another one here in this forest, and he's doing the smart thing and staying calm and not moving.
Yeah. If I don't move, the artillery can't see me.
Well, yeah, you know that. I mean, just like all the dinosaurs in every Jurassic Park movie, they don't see anything but motion. So, you're good to go.
Yeah, just don't move, and all the shells will miss.
Indeed.
That's my plan. If I was to ever get shot by an artillery gun. I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope so too. I mean, I'm sure as many of our viewers know, you spent most of your recent days verfing Flammen to try to go flambe, and I think we've also discovered that insurance premiums do not cover World War II flamethrowers.
Oh. Yeah, it's been a pretty exciting week.
Well, some people have different kind of hobbies during the pandemic, and I mean, you found yours. I'm happy for you. But I'm pretty sure Netflix is not having like 1,000-degree love or something like that for anytime soon. So, but as we go to the final 30 seconds over here, I mean, major thing that kind of happened. Gearhead did extremely well in kind of keeping things at arm's length. But I don't know. I feel like his airplane, his anti-air, was just not quite as superlative as it should have been.
Yeah.
We're seeing 3 mosquitoes dropping on the front lines here to the north, and there's nothing there to kind of keep them at bay.
Yep, and that's just going to completely track it. I also think this Metalphase holding onto that northern sector for so long was really giving him the flag advantage, and he held onto it really well, so he could just focus the rest of his forces down south and just, have that slap fight across the town back and forth, and he held it for the majority of the time, and that's a very even 4,000 points in terms of kills.
Well, I was going to say, one thing that's not even, though, is the overall KD, and you can see right now, 6-pounder, some very, very superlative kills there. Another 6-pounder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's a ground ace. Mosquito, several kills. Sherman, several kills. Mosquito, several kills. 6-pounder. 6-pounder's killing infantry. That's just weird. Okay?
I guess it's still in the trucks.
It counts as in the truck.
Trucks, yeah.
On the opposite side, Fastbender over here, he doesn't just make great movies, he's killing tanks galore. It's a P4H over there. He spells his name a little bit funky, but, that was before he got famous. Jack Nicholas underneath him, again, very, very valiant effort. So, we do have some small standouts here and there, but when it comes right down to it, the air power, in my mind, that was the winner. That was the I-Ching here.
Yeah, this reek can pretty much be defined in good use of air power, which is nice to see because I like airplanes. I'm gonna guess you like airplanes. I'm gonna guess the viewers like airplanes. But you know what I like more than airplanes?
Birthday cake?
Bombs.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah. And I like seeing bombs being dropped. Explosions, they make me happy. And I hope they make you guys happy too.
Well, in the wake of the recent Guy Fawkes Day, this is actually why Ryan cannot go back to Mother England anytime soon.
Yeah, I tried to, I thought I could get underneath Parliament, but...
Some guy in a mask just ruined the entire thing back in the early 2000s.
I know.
But after that seditious talk, I think that's come to the end of our coverage this week of both the SD League as well as just kind of really successful replays from you guys overall. Any final thoughts for our viewers out there, Ryan?
Nope.
Okay, folks, until next time then, I'm Con O'Rourke.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.